Indeed, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on KBC Channel 1 on this second day of January 2022. I had to be careful with the 2022. Happy New Year. I am Nisi Imano. I am joined by Anne Wangeshi as our sign language interpreter for this bulletin. Thank you for joining us. And we begin on a sad note with the passing of the former Attorney General and Cabinet Minister Charles Mugane NJONJO is dead. According to his family, NJONJO died on Sunday morning at his home in Muthaiga, Nairobi, at the age of 101 years. NJONJO was the only surviving member of the Independence Cabinet of founding President Jomo Kenyatta. A little bit later in the bulletin. But for now, we cross over to Igembe North, where police from Lare Igembe North constituency have recovered 25 motorbikes and arrested 4 people in connection with the theft. According to Igembe North Sub-County Police Commander Mbatian Kantai, his officers managed to recover the motorbikes, which were to be taken to the neighboring counties and neighboring countries. The 4 suspects are being held at Lare Police Station, awaiting to be taken to court on Monday.
Igembe North Sub-County Police Commander Mbatian Kantai said his officers managed to recover suspected stolen motorbikes, which most of them have been stolen from as far as Isiolo, Embu and down from Wingi.
Most of these motorbikes are stolen by young people. Some of them have bought those motorbikes on hire purchase, but when they encounter challenges of paying the loans, they just decide to steal from themselves. So we have managed to recover this month around 23 motorbikes, which are suspected they were heading towards neighboring counties and also neighboring countries.
The Sub-County Police Commander noted that most of the suspects were youths and urged them, especially those purchasing motorbikes through hire purchase and loans, to be faithful to their hiring companies and desist from giving false information to the companies and police officers.
I wish to urge members of public, especially the youth, who are purchasing these motorbikes on hire purchase or through loans, to be faithful to their companies and to themselves, to stop defrauding companies and giving false information to the police. Otherwise, once we catch up with them, we shall charge them with giving false information, and also the company shall deal with them as per their contracts.
The 4 suspects are being held at Lare Police Station, awaiting to be taken to court on Monday. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
And in Mandera, local leaders have raised an alarm over low uptake of the COVID-19 vaccines among residents. It is reported that only slightly above 2,000 individuals have so far been vaccinated. Low turnout in all vaccination centers across the country remains a big challenge. Mandera Town Chairman Community Policing says many residents have refused to take the jab. He has termed this trend as a dangerous one that will lead to mass infections in the region.
Iko watu wengi hawajachukua hiyo jab na wanalala kwa nyumba. Na hii kitu ni muhimu sana kwa wananchi halisi. Kwa hivyo naomba wananchi wachukue hii jab ya COVID-19. Wasikae kwa nyumba. Tena hii makaimbi, since tunaingia makaimbi, tunataka serikali iboreshe hali ya wananchi vizuri. Waone maslaha, wako ukame, hawajapata chakula for almost 6 months.
Tunaomba hii dawa ya corona ni mzuri. Msione ni kitu mbaya. Serikali yetu inataka sisi na kitu mzuri na maisha mzuri. Sasa muendelee mchukue hii vaccine.
The vaccines are nowadays so many in these hospitals. Every person, and is for free. People should just go and get vaccinated so that you get a bit of protection.
Away from that, a family in Kiambu is demanding that the government chemist releases the remains of their kin who was mauled by hyenas back in 2017 at Komu village, Thika East. The family says the government took the remains to their facility for examination to ascertain whether the body belonged to the family. They are now demanding for the remains so they can finally bury their kin.
Rikahuha, the brother to the deceased, armed with documents, said he has been to every government office to seek the remains released for the last 5 years, but his efforts have borne no fruit.
Sijui ni nini inaendelea huko government chemist, hakuna ripoti tunapata. Jaribu kutafuta usaidizi kwa chief, akaniambia hata inipea hiyo permit kwa sababu ile ripoti ya government chemist bado kuja, hata tutabue hiyo mtu au ni wetu au ni mtu wa wenyewe tunataka kuchika.
Kahuha further claiming it is so traumatizing to the family and especially to their ailing mother who lives with his son's bones in her house while the government holds on to his skull.
Mama yangu kutoka hiyo siku alikuliwa na pisi, alisikwa na blood pressure. Sijui ni kwao ni kwa sababu ya hiyo, na hata baba alisikwa na hiyo blood pressure akakufa. Hiyo ni kitu inatupeleka baya sana. Hata mimi nikiingia kwa hiyo nyumba na machozi inaanza kutoka.
Inatuuma sana. Nikienda kwa nyumba kwa shosho siwezi enda mahali pengine, inabidi tu nikae hapo karibu na shosho, sababu nikiingia huko nikiona zile mifupa uchungu inakuwa ni kama hiyo siku ndio yenye anko yangu amekuliwa na fisi.
The family is now calling the county government to intervene and come to their aid so they can bury the remains of their kin.
Usaidizi tupewe barua ya kusika hiyo mifupa kwa sababu inakaa sana kwa nyumba.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
And now we revisit our main story of the hour, which is the former Attorney General and Cabinet Minister Charles Mugane NJONJO is dead. According to his family, NJONJO died this morning at his home in Muthaiga, Nairobi, at the age of 101 years. NJONJO was the only surviving member of the Independence Cabinet of founding President Jomo Kenyatta.
The law does not sin and law has no hands. But now, those who practice law here have hands and they seem to have eyes. Now, when you have eyes, you get tempted.
The news of the passing on of the first Kenyan Attorney General Charles NJONJO was announced on Sunday morning by President Uhuru Kenyatta. NJONJO passed on peacefully at 5 a.m. Sunday, aged 101. His body was thereafter taken to Lee Funeral Home, where it was prepared for interment. NJONJO's family then proceeded to Karioko Hindu Crematorium, where the former Attorney General was cremated at 10:30 a.m. Born 23rd, 1920, Charles Mugane NJONJO, the son of the late Josiah NJONJO, a colonial paramount chief, served as Attorney General of Kenya from 1963 to 1979 and Minister of Constitutional Affairs from 1980 to 1983.
The justice will dispense under the shadow of the blind goddess. On top of this building, that you come here in these law courts hoping and trusting that you are going to get justice and you are not going to pay for it.
Upon his retirement as Attorney General, aged 60, NJONJO was thereafter elected and challenged to the National Assembly in April 1980 as the Member of Parliament for Kikuyu constituency. The late President Daniel Moi appointed him to cabinet in June 1980 to serve as the Minister for Home and Constitutional Affairs. Popularly referred as the Duke of Kabeteshire, NJONJO, while at the age of 51 years, married Margaret Bryson in 1972, with whom he has 3 children, Wairimu NJONJO, Nimu NJONJO, and Josiah NJONJO. NJONJO was the only surviving member of the Independent Cabinet of founding President Jomo Kenyatta. Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
Indeed, a huge loss there to our country and the continent. On standby, we do have our reporter, Nancy Okware, who's on the ground at the Karioko Crematorium, and she's going to be bringing us up to speed on that story. Nancy, if you can hear us, kindly bring us up to speed on what is currently happening at Karioko Crematorium.
It's your course back at the broadcasting house. We are coming to you live from the Kariako Crematorium right here in Nairobi County, where the cremation process for the late Charles NJONJO has just been completed at around 12:30 a.m. around 10:30 a.m. and took around 2 hours. Hence, right now, as we speak, the entire process has been completed. Earlier on, we managed to speak to one of the relatives, that is his son-in-law, and he said that the reason he was cremated just hours after his death is because he wanted to be cremated just almost immediately after his death. Hence, the family members were here very early in the morning. Actually, he died at his home in Muthaiga, and after that, he was taken to Lee Funeral Home for preparation for interment. Then after that, that's when the family members brought his remains right here at the Kariako crematorium for his cremation. The late Charles NJONJO died at around 5 a.m. and the news of his death was, made public by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who said that his death is not only a loss to, his family alone, not only to Kenya alone, but to the African continent in general, because he was one of those people who played a major role in ensuring that the independence of this country was, concrete. He played a major role in matters constitution and legal affairs. Remember that he was the first, Attorney General of Kenya from the year 1963 all the way to 1979, and of course in the year 1980 he was appointed by retired and late President Daniel Arap Moi as the cabinet, or rather the Minister for Constitutional Affairs in this country. He was also the last member of the cabinet, independent cabinet. Hence, he leaves behind a legacy that will be remembered by the generations to come. Right now, there's not much that is ongoing right here at the Kariako crematorium. Remember that the process took at around 2 hours and it was completed around 12:30. And there were not so many activities. There were no, many politicians around. Out of a private affair, because it happened almost immediately after his death. So there's not much ongoing here. The late NJONJO leaves behind 3 children, and of course he once served as the Member of Parliament for Kikuyu. He was elected unopposed in the year 1980. So Nisi, to hand it back to you at the broadcasting house. But key to note is that the cremation process has been completed. It started at around 10:30. By 12:30, it was complete. Back to you, Nisi Okoth, in studio.
That's our reporter there. Thank you very much, Nancy Okware, who is currently at the Kariako crematorium, where the late Charles Mugane NJONJO, the former Attorney General, has been cremated after his death. He died early this morning, and we pass our condolences to family and friends. Moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has termed former Attorney General, the late Charles NJONJO, as an independence-era leader who made a selfless contribution to the laying of the solid foundation upon which the country continues to thrive. In his condolence message, the head of state termed the death of Charles NJONJO a big blow to the country and the entire continent. The late Charles NJONJO died early Sunday morning at the age of 101 years.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has led the country in mourning Charles Mugane NJONJO, who died early Sunday morning at the age of 101 years. The head of state termed NJONJO's death a big blow not only to his immediate family, friends and relatives, but to all Kenyans and indeed the entire African continent. The president noted that the country owes the late NJONJO and his generation of independence-era leaders a debt of gratitude for their selfless contribution to the laying of the solid foundation upon which the country continues to thrive. The president also acknowledged NJONJO's contribution to Kenya's progressive constitutional and legal regime when he served as the country's first post-independence Attorney General between 1963 and 1979 and as a Constitutional Affairs Minister between 1980 and 1983. Other leaders also joined in giving glowing tribute to the late Charles NJONJO on social media. Deputy President William Ruto described him as a knowledgeable, blunt and dedicated advocate for the causes he believed in. Baringo Senator Gideon Moi said NJONJO contributed immensely to this country's legal foundation. Nyamira Governor Amos Nyaribo termed him as an icon who played a key role in making Kenya a good nation after independence. ODM Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna prayed for comfort for his family and friends.
May his soul rest in peace. Moving on, the political supremacy battle between ANC Ford Kenya and newly formed Democratic Action Party of Kenya in Western Region is intensifying just a day after DAPK supported the endorsement of Raila Odinga's Azimio movement in Buhungu Stadium. The newly formed political party has gained support from mass defections, with the latest catch being Federal Party of Kenya party leader Andrew Kutitila, who led other officials and supporters to join DAPK. While denouncing his position as the FPK party leader, Kutitila said the move was occasioned by the desire to join what he termed as the winning team.
Tumeamua kwa kauli moja tutembee barabara moja, barabara ya Azimio. Na leo tunakaribisha ndugu Kutitila, party leader wa Federal. Tunakaribisha MCAs wake wa Federal. Hawa viongozi walio hapa ni viongozi wa Federal Party of Kenya. Lakini kutoka leo hapa Sihendo wamepata ubatizo. Sasa hawa ni wa Democratic Action Party of Kenya.
Kwa Mheshimiwa Kutitila na timu yote ya Federal kwa uamuzi walioichukua kujiunga na chama chetu cha DAP kuanzia leo,
kwamba mimi nitawacha kukuwa party leader. Kwa sababu gani? Niko na kazi ya kufanyia watu wangu. Sasa kutembea huko nje, waacha nirudi nifanyie watu wangu kazi.
On that note, we are taking a very fast commercial break, but please keep it here. We'll be back in a bit.
The KBC Board of Directors, Management and Staff wishes all our esteemed listeners, viewers and clients Happy New Year and a prosperous 2022. We wish you peace, joy and prosperity throughout the coming year. Thank you for your continued support and partnership.
What's up, family? I am Jane Mamboy Kibera.
My good name is Doreen Arange Okelo.
And no, we've been talking about politics, all right? The whole year. Gojeni to come next year, it will be on another level.
A prosperous 2022 and save the date. January 4th, let us meet here at KBC Channel 1 Good Morning Kenya from 6:30 to 10 a.m.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
A wounded heart.
Why did you have to come back?
See, I'm still in love with you. A brave heart.
I saved your father's company. You're a nobody.
I want a divorce.
An ambitious heart.
The man won't sell his land. Just make him do it. That's what you're here for.
An innocent heart.
He can't force me to sell my land, Father.
My brother will do anything to take your land. Take care of yourself, please. A possessive heart.
Do what you have to do to get it.
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dudas.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Lunchtime News. We move on to messages of peaceful elections reverberated across the country as Kenyans ushered in 2022. As the country heads to the general elections in the next 8 months, Kenyans have also been urged to put into office ideal leaders.
As the country continues to usher in the new year, the church is now urging Kenyans to be critical in choosing the type of leaders they prefer in the August 9th general election. Bishop Margaret Njiri of the Jesus is Alive Ministries, who is also a politician, is now making a clarion call to political parties to ensure the free and fair primaries.
Nominations zikifika, tufike wakati ambapo nominations will be free and fair. Tusifike kama nominations zenye zilifanyika hiyo elections zingine iliyopita, wakati ambapo watu waliibiwa certificate zikauzwa na watu wenye ambao walikuwa na uongozi bora wakabaki nje. Ndio umeona mambo Kenya imeharibika sana, because wenye uongozi bora walibaki nje, watu wengine wakaingia wenye ambao hata hawakuwa wanaelewa uongozi ni nini.
Her sentiments were echoed by Reverend James Mogire and Reverend Robert Getugi in Kisii Town at the Getembe Church of God in East Africa, Kenya, who urged Kenyans to vote in the right leaders.
Na tunaendelea kuomba ya kwamba viongozi waweze kuwa mfano mwema kwa wananchi. Tuweze kuwa watu waaminifu. Tuache mambo ya hongo, mambo ya corruption.
Tena tukaweze kuwachagua viongozi wale ambao wanaogopa ama wanamuogopa Mungu.
In Mandera, the current drought dominated the New Year atmosphere, with calls for enhanced efforts to distribute relief food to those badly hit by the calamity.
Ukame imegonga tena sisi kupita hata zaidi, mpaka sasa wananchi wamelemewa kabisa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali wasaidie wananchi wa Mandera.
Serafina Robi for Lunchtime News.
Away from that, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants in Kenya, ICPAC, has revealed that it is going to carry out the social audit of the auditor's report on the total amount of funds each county has received in the last 9 years and its expenditures. According to ICPAC Chairman George Mokua, the intention is to evaluate the funds received and the projects that have implemented at the county level and value for the money allocated.
No wasiwasi, you know we are dealing with vulnerable people. Take over for the remaining people.
Be able to summarize all the funds that have been released and collected locally for the last 9 years, and then we're also looking at the qualification paragraphs. This is contained in the report of the Auditor General, and then we are able to quantify. We are able to quantify and know that so much funds were not properly utilized. We will publish all these reports, and Kenyans will be able to see. Because going forward, we want to have people elected who are accountable.
Our regards, of course, to the ICPAC fraternity for the contribution and for that well wish that you could come to assist such a vulnerable institution.
It is time now for sports, and the national beach volleyball team is expected to begin its training this week in preparation for the upcoming inter-county championships to be held in February in Mombasa. This comes after the second leg of the homologated National Beach Volleyball Tour 2021 series held at Kiati River Beach, Wote in Makueni County in November. Kenya Beach Volleyball Chairman Moses Mbuthia has called upon all interested players to join and assured that Kenya will build a strong team which will represent the country well in the international competitions. Mbuthia has also called upon the Ministry of Sports to support the game since it's a way of motivating amateur players. The championship is set to begin in February, attracting many players from different parts of the country. And And in international sports, Chelsea and Liverpool are looking forward to a clash for the second position at Stamford Bridge, keen on reducing Manchester City's 11-point lead at the top of the English Premier League standings. Meanwhile, Davinson Sanchez scored a 96th-minute winner as Tottenham continued their push for a Premier League top 4 place with a last-gasp victory over struggling Watford at Vicarage Road.
Looking to make another fast start here at Selhurst Park, as they have done in their last 2 home games.
West Ham United survived a late.
Here we go. Way to go is the right way. Another decent delivery, and we do have a goal.
In another match, Davinson Sanchez scored a 96th-minute winner as Tottenham continued their push for a Premier League top 4 place with a last-gasp victory over struggling Watford at Vicarage Road.
Min-son, free kick late in the game. In by Son.
Tonight, Chelsea and Liverpool are looking forward to clash for the second position when they clash at Stamford Bridge tonight. Liverpool has 3 fresh COVID-19 cases, and boss Jurgen Klopp absent as they plot a revival of the Premier League title chase. They take on Chelsea side who are also battling to win the league, but are affected by injuries and positive COVID tests. On the other hand, Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel might have been relieved to have Romelu Lukaku, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Mateo Kovacic return in recent weeks. However, the Germans saw 2 more players suffer injuries during the Blues' 1-1 draw with Brighton as the club crisis took a fresh turn.
Welcome back. That brings us to the end of Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for your time on the second day of January 2022. A happy new year to you. I am Nisi Imano. Our sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Take a musical trip around Africa right here on KBC Channel 1. Every Sunday on Afro Vibes.
Because this is the hottest show right now.
We give you a musical cocktail from North Africa, Central Africa, West, South and East of Africa.
We are live and we are loud.
Where about it today? I want to show them my attitude today.
Your Sunday will never be the same again with
DJ D and
DJ Leo on Afro Vibes.
Your musical passport to Africa.
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself.
Christmas is a time for family, fun and entertainment. This holiday season, KBC Channel 1 brings you exciting shows filled with laughter.
Mila on the wall. Who is the beautiful among them all?
Yes, and that's me.
Love.
Because I love you.
Forever, Ines. Action.
Of course you lied to me.
Drama. And heartwarming moments. Keep it KBC Channel 1 for wholesome family entertainment.
A wounded heart.
Why did you have to come back?
Lucia, I'm still in love with you. A brave heart.
I saved your father's company. You're a nobody.
I want a divorce.
An ambitious heart.
The man won't sell his land. Just make him do it. That's what you're here for.
An innocent heart.
He can't force me to sell my land, father.
My brother will do anything to take your land. Take care of yourself, please. A possessive heart.
Do what you have to do to get it.
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dudas.
Kila kitu hapa kitakuwa organized, kitamalizwa.
Ungejuaje? Wakati wewe unanipisha lines kutoka huku mpaka huku kwingine.
Useke hapa. Hapo zinaweza dondoka. Hapa ndo barida hapa. Unajua mimi sikupata nafasi nzuri ya kumwangalia vizuri. Lakini niko na doubt.